all you want to and still get it wrong. Oh, worship is more than a song.
Hey guys, this is Sabrina and you are watching the King's Love Convos. The title of this video is called Falling Out of Love. And no, it's not falling out of love with the person. It's when we fall out of love with God, or when our relationship with God isn't where it should be. And I posted a blog about this a couple of months ago called When the Honeymoon Phase is Over, and I will post a link to that video down below. A lot of times we start off our relationship with God and we're so on fire and we're so in love and we're willing to do anything for Him, and we are willing to spend so much time with Him, and it's not a chore, it's not something that we view as dreadful or as something that we're obligated to do. We just have this fire and we just have this hunger. As we go through life and as we go through things and just as we just go through life, it's easy for us to lose that fire and lose that love that we once had for Him. I've been there, and a constant prayer of mine is, Lord, just restore the joy of my salvation. Help me to not view you as common, because sometimes we get so caught up in ministry and so caught up in, you know, this whole Christian thing that after a while it becomes common, and it kind of becomes just like, okay. In the book of Revelations, when Jesus talks to all of these different churches, and He has these different kind of judgments against all of these churches, and one of the churches, He says, like, you know, I see the work that you do, and I see that you don't tolerate wickedness, and I see that you do all of these things, but you don't love me like you used to. You know, and when we look at scripture, the greatest command that God has given us, the number one command that He has given us, is to love God with all of our heart, all of our soul, and all of our mind, and then to love people as though we love ourselves. And so we can be doing so many things for God. We can be serving in so many different ministries. We can be going on all these missions trips and preaching about God on Instagram and Twitter, but do we love Him like we used to? Are we still in love? Is it from a place of love that we're doing all of these things, or is it from a place of obligation, or is it from a place of routine? My challenge is, you know, really examining what has taken the place of God in your heart. What is it that kind of doused your fire for God? I know all the things that you do, that you are neither hot nor cold. I wish that you were one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. That is just a reminder that Jesus don't play. In this American Christianity, we just view God as this like fluffy bear who just is just all love, and which He is. God is love, don't get it twisted. But He is just all love. He doesn't care. He's kind of like this hippie with long blonde hair and blue eyes, and he's just, you know, yeah, you know. Scripture shows that He is also a judge, and, you know, He has called us to an intimate and a passionate relationship with Him, in which we are wholeheartedly devoted to Him. A lot of us, we have one foot in and one foot out. I'm going to use the example of food. Okay, of course, I'm going to use the example of food. Anybody knows me, you know I love to eat. But say you have a big meal that is you're about to eat. If you eat snacks, or if you munch on you know, candy or whatever before you're about to eat a big meal, it's going to ruin your appetite. So you're not going to really eat as much as you would have had you not eaten junk food and this stuff before. That's why, like, you know, your mom will tell you, oh, don't eat that because you're going to ruin your appetite. It's the same way with us and God. A lot of times we eat from the table of the world until we lose our appetite for God. And God makes it so clear that we are to be separated and that we are to be set apart. And so I know that's something that God has definitely convicted me of. When I would sit back and I would ask and I would wonder, like, God, why am I not on fire? Like, why? I mean, yeah, I'm being obedient and I'm, you know, doing what I'm supposed to do, but it's just like, where's that fire? Where's that passion that I once had? And He often would show me, like, okay, it's because you spend more time on Instagram than you do in my word. It's because you spend more time talking to your friends than you do talking to me. My challenge for you and for all of us is to really examine what we've allowed to take the place of God in our hearts and to really get back to the basics and to really pray for that fire again, that passion, that love, where all of these things that we are commanded to do isn't a burden to us. But when you love somebody, doing things for them isn't a chore. It's like you want to do these things because you're fueled by love. And so if we find being obedient and we find, you know, doing things for God as a chore and it's dreadful, then a lot of times it's because we don't love him like that. We don't love him like we used to. So I just really pray that we would get back to that place of wholehearted surrender, that place of fire and passion and love, where we're willing to lay down our life willfully and joyfully for the glory of God. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video. Sometimes we're looking for God to come down and say, my child, I've called you to be a minister, and I've called you to be a pastor. I've called, and we think that that's what purpose is all about. It's about a title.